only fitting that if Nikki Fink ruined a large portion of Warner Brothers' Hall H presentation for Comic-Con, the whole DC section, I'm sure they still have some surprises up their sleeves, but she took a big chunk of the surprise away. As I said, I guess it's only fitting that her competition, the Wrap, or her former competition, I don't know if they're still, since she left Deadline, if they're still on the same level, but still, her former competition, it looks like the Wrap has ruined a big surprise for her, for DC's competition, Marvel, and that is, of course, the casting of Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange. What? How did we end up here? He was not on the list, and the list was pretty long. Now, right away, I just want to say I like this casting a lot. I'm a little scared for Marvel because of how uncooperative he is, both creatively and business-wise, but we'll get to that in a moment. But first, this list, very long. Started out with Johnny Depp was the fan choice. That never materialized. Then everyone was saying it was going to be Jared Leto, hot off of his Oscar win. That didn't materialize. Then it became between Tom Hardy and Benedict Cumberbatch, which again seemed to go the way of the fans. And maybe that's what that was only, wishful thinking on the part of the fans. I don't know if Marvel floated those names out or not, but they certainly didn't deny it. Although Benedict Cumberbatch has certainly denied it at every chance he got. And everyone's just saying he's being coy, he's just deflecting. But it seems he was telling the truth all along, and he's not going to be Doctor Strange, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. Now, this deal has not yet been sealed. When the news broke just earlier today, they were still in negotiations, but obviously intense negotiations because I'm sure Kevin Feige wants to make this announcement. And I'm sure he'd love to have Joaquin Phoenix there. Now, some industry trades, particularly Deadline, has noted that they don't feel Joaquin Phoenix will show, that Kevin Feige can get him there. And I think that this is an excellent first test as to whether or not Joaquin Phoenix is going to be a team player. And that's a big part of being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have to go to all the premieres. You have to go have a cameo in someone else's movie to promote your character. It's a big thing. There's a lot of moving parts here in terms of not just merchandising, but eventually, Disney's moving forward on theme park attractions, etc. They need their actors to do that. And Joaquin Phoenix, of course, has been notoriously, infamously difficult on all fronts. Of course, some would say that's added to his charm, but he's going to have to start to play ball if he wants to play in the big leagues. Now, I'm sure right now some of you are furiously typing that Joaquin Phoenix does play in the big leagues, and of course, even there he's run into trouble. He's been a big Oscar contender, but he wasn't even nominated last year because he said all those horrible things about the Oscars when The Master was making its rounds during Oscar season. So he's on the outs in every area, but maybe not with fans. I don't know. Her underperformed at the box office. I don't know if people want to see Joaquin Phoenix, in mainstream audiences. If he's a draw, he very well might not be, and that's a worrisome factor. Also, Scott Derrickson is directing this. He's done The Exorcism, I believe, Emily Rose, Deliver Us from Evil, the film that just came out. This is not a crack team. If they got Paul Thomas Anderson to reteam with Joaquin Phoenix over here and make Doctor Strange, then that might get really interesting. But we'll see. I hope Joaquin Phoenix is taking this seriously and this isn't a paycheck movie for him. But as I said, despite all these reservations, I think he's a great choice. And if it came right down to it, and Kevin Feige was asking me to cast a vote, I would have to think about it for a moment, but I'd pull the trigger. I'd say, let's do it. Because at the very least, it'll be interesting. Even if he does make a mess out of it publicity-wise and just runs amok, I guess, he is playing a character called Doctor Strange. I think Joaquin Phoenix is wonderful. He's the right age for the character. Doctor Strange is supposed to, of course, be a surgeon. You're not a surgeon overnight. It takes a lot of training. And he's not just a surgeon. He's a top-notch surgeon. He's one of the best surgeons in his field. And that's the tragic origin story for him. I don't want to give away the origin story of Doctor Strange, but anyone familiar with it will know that that established career in medicine is important to the character. So I'm glad he's going to be older. Also, it keeps a diversity in terms of age range in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I also think is very important. Now, he has a zaniness to him, but it's not the same zaniness that Robert Downey Jr. has. So he's going to bring a different energy to the group, but it'll still be energy. He'll still be uplifting. He's not going to bring down the tone of the group dynamic, which I'm sure he'll eventually become a part of. And who wouldn't be interested in a sorcery, a Marvel sorcery movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Elizabeth Olsen? I think that would be fascinating because, as I've said, I speculate that Scarlet Witch will head over into a Doctor Strange movie because it's working very well for Marvel to kind of not just put one character in a movie, but some, a couple of them. I think that was a very successful formula for Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think it was something that Thor: The Dark World was missing, especially coming right off. And also, I think Iron Man 3 was missing that. It didn't have that group dynamic. It seemed too removed from the Avengers film. Once the genie's out of the bottle, you can't really put it back in. So I think this is great. I wonder if this is indeed, if someone did scoop Marvel's one of their big surprises. This would have been a big one if it hadn't already broken today. I think the only surprise left is whether or not the deal goes through, and then whether or not Joaquin Phoenix shows up. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you wish the story hadn't broke? Do you think Joaquin Phoenix is a good choice, or do you prefer one of the other names that was being bandied about? And do you think Joaquin Phoenix will play ball? Do you want him to play ball? Write your thoughts down below, and we'll find out. We'll have our answer in about 12 hours. All right, I hope you're enjoying this coverage of San Diego Comic-Con, and you can watch some more of it right now.